I just killed Obi-Wan. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of this little series that I started. It is opening day, shotgun season 2017, a day that we will never forget. So throughout this video I'm going to narrate again because once again we did not do a very good job back in the day on capturing things on video, so it was an easier story to tell rather than having to go back and do this. So I'm going to do this again. If you guys have not checked out part 1, click right here or right here, wherever it's at. Yeah, so I'm going to be describing this deer right here. We called him Obi-Wan. He was a deer that was for sure a mature buck. We guessed him to be about 5.5. If not, he was a 4.5. The reason I say that is because the year before we had pictures of him and it was hard to tell, but it looked like he was a 4-year-old in that one picture that we got of him the year before. So we kind of guessed he was a 5-year-old, but looking back he could have been a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old as well, which it doesn't really matter to me. He was a mature buck. Anyways, yeah, let's get into how it went down. So the day started off, my dad and my brother got their 2 bucks as you saw, and I went in, my other uncle went in to help drag out these deer, and after that we got back to the house. We call it the house, it was my uncle's house, a couple minutes away from the farm, and we sat down at the bar and just kind of made a game plan for me to go after this guy. And he was a buck that I wanted to kill all year. I kind of was going after him. I was hunting the perimeters of his area. I didn't really want to go in and blow him out because he was a mature deer, and you blow out a mature deer, they're not coming back, obviously. So yeah, so we made a game plan. I was gonna go sit with my Uncle Joe, and we had not sat this stand one time the entire season, maybe not even the season before, I'm not exactly sure, but this is an old wooden stand that was constructed by my grandpa, and it probably has fallen down to this day, but it worked. It was definitely a good setup. It worked, I guess. It was pretty sketchy, but it worked. So yeah, we climbed up into the old wooden stand.
Gonna kill big old hog. We're gonna shoot a pig. Super secret spot. Don't tell anybody. We're gonna shoot old Blue. We're gonna shoot Blue.
When we climbed into the old wooden stand, we sat kind of awkwardly. I sat on the one seat that was there. Joe hopped into the tree right next to it. There was like a, I don't know, probably that big around of a tree right next to the ladder of the stand, and it kind of split, so he just hopped into that, and he kind of made the decision that it was a little bit too sketchy, so he just stood on the ladder. So we're only probably 13 feet off the ground, and out in front of us we've got a huge CRP field, which is to the north, and then as it goes west there's more CRP, and it wraps around this little chunk of timber that we're in. When you face east, it's just all thick. I mean, if you sat on the ground you can't see 20-30 yards, so we were just at the perfect level to see over all this junk. And we first got in there We were sitting there for a little bit and we saw a couple of does out in northwest of us in the CRP, and they were acting skittish. I mean, it was a really windy afternoon, so we didn't think much of it. So probably about 20 to 30 minutes later, down to the east of us in the timber, we could see a doe pop out, and then a couple more popped out, and then all of a sudden Joe's like, hey, there's a nice buck back there, and you'll probably hear him say it. And I couldn't see him at first because he had a different viewpoint. He was a little bit lower than me and he could see through the thick stuff and I couldn't. So right when I got eyes on him, I knew exactly who he was. It was him.
Oh yeah, that's Obi-Wan.
I knew right away it was him. I've studied so many pictures of him. All I needed was just that one glance and I knew it was him. So right when I saw him, I got locked in. Joe was already recording, and I mean, it wasn't really much pre-roll. He took a couple steps into the opening down in there, my only opening down into the thick timber, and I was like, hey, you on him? And he was like, yep, and I smoked him.
That's the 158 pointer. Take your safety off, make a good shot. He's not spooked at all. I can kill him there, you want him good. Take your time. You want him good? Or you want him good? Yeah. Drop Obi-Wan. Oh, dude, that's a 150 in sheer. Reload. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. That's a 150. Dude. Hey, look at me. Nice job. Dude, that is the deer we came in after. I was about to say, I hope Obi-Wan is with them, and he was. Did you get that on video good? Yeah. Dude, that doe's still standing there, look. He's looking at him. Oh my gosh, I literally said, shh. Dude, I cannot believe that. When we left the truck, I literally said, I hope we see Obi-Wan. We just shot 3 bucks in the same day on a terrible opening one. And he is dead right there. That's a 150-inch 8-pointer right there. That is the deer I've been wanting to kill all year. Hey. Oh, did you hear Josh say go in there and kill Obi-Wan? That is a deer we don't even have history with him. We have one picture of him last year and we didn't know who he was until this year. We figured it out. We have all kinds of summer pictures, all kinds of pictures of him. Actually, we got some of the best daylight pictures over there about 200 yards of him in the daylight, and they were the most beautiful pictures ever. And ever since I saw those pictures, I was like, oh, I want to kill that deer, and I just did. That's a 150-inch
Awesome.
8-pointer. Hey, put the phone on speaker so everyone can hear in the blind. I just killed Obi-Wan. I dropped him in his tracks. He is dead. Deader than a hammer.
Did you get it on video?
Yep, all on video. We just got in. We forgot the climber, and Joe freaking hopped in the other tree. He was like, I don't know if this is going to work. And then he's just standing on the ladder kind of right in front of me. And we just sat down and everything got quiet. And I looked over and the 3 deer ran across from the south to the north, up through that cut through in between Wagon Wheel and Shot Out. They ran up through there, and then we looked over, or Joe looked over and he said, hey, there's deer right here. And they had just stood up. There was like 5 does all stood up, and then there was 1 doe in the back. He was in heat, and then Joe goes, oh, nice buck, just stood up. And he stood up right there in that opening. He was just messing around kind of behind the doe.
It was really weird. I shot him right through both of his lungs. I didn't hit him anywhere that would have paralyzed him to drop him, and I shot him right through both lungs, and he just stood there and died right on the spot. I've never seen that happen ever. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, pretty crazy little short hunt. I mean, we were probably in the stand for a total of 35 minutes. It was not long at all, and I was able to seal the deal on one of the bucks of my dreams. Even though he's not my biggest buck, he's probably going to be my favorite buck I ever shoot, no matter what. He scored 136 and 5/8. All the trail camera pictures that we had of him, we guessed he would be 150. He looked like a really good buck in trail camera, and he was really deceiving. So yeah, when we walked up to him, we were really shocked. We were expecting him to be 150, 155, just because his trail camera pictures, he looked like huge in his trail camera pictures for some odd reason. Some deer are just like that, but we got up to him like, man, this deer may not even go 140, and he didn't.
It could be unsafe. We're not using harnesses, 2, and 3, we don't use a tow rope. So people are just gonna rip on that.
That's a cool deer.
Oh yeah, that's... It's not as big as I thought it was, but...
Oh, you can smell him too. He's...
Oh yeah.
You see that stand?
Yeah. Barely see it. We were hidden.
Right
That brush right around the stand completely hides you. Oh. He ain't gonna go 150.
No, but he's a nice old buck.
Oh yeah. He may go 145. That'd be my biggest spot, but this time, this stage was pretty. Come here close and look at this. He had so much stuff sprayed out. It sprayed on his trail. Look at how he's doing all the
Nice. Thumbs up.
5.5-year-old deer. Right on.
I kind of knew it was going to be my last year on the farm, and I was very thankful that I was able to seal the deal on him. And I'm just glad. I'm glad he was my final deer on the farm. So yeah, thank you for watching and checking out this video. Please hit that subscribe button. The goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this deer season. It seems far-fetched, but it's doable. I really hope to do it. I'm gonna be investing in a really nice camera here soon. I'm gonna get a Sony. This is a Canon Rebel T6i, so I'm gonna be investing here soon in a Sony A7 Mark III. And yeah, thank you for watching my favorite deer ever.